In last year's November resit paper, fewer than half of the students entered achieved 4 out of 4 in AQA English Language Paper 2 Question 1. It's supposed to be a simple question, but there are some hidden depths to it, and in this video I'll teach you how to get 4 out of 4 in this potentially difficult question.
In this video, we're looking at AQA English Language Paper 2 Question 1, which is a 4-mark question assessing the first bullet point of AO1 to identify and interpret explicit and implicit information and ideas. Question 1 presents you with 8 statements asking you to identify 4 which are true. Let's look at a typical question taken from Mr. Bruff's Guide to GCSE English Language, available in paperback on Amazon or ebook at mrbruff.com. Read source A from lines 1 to 25. Choose 4 statements which are true. Shade the circles in the boxes of the statements which are true. So the first simple tip here is to draw a box around the part of the text you're being asked to take your answers from. In this case, lines 1 to 25. Just make sure you do that carefully and don't strike through any actual lines of text in the source, because you're going to need to look back at this part of the text when you're working on other questions and you don't want to find that you can't read some of the words. You might think this question is similar to Paper 1 Question 1, but it is actually a bit harder, as it may require you to infer and read between the lines. Let me show you what I mean by that. Some of the true statements will be easy to find, like statement B, Andrew Bruff makes online video tutorials. That's easily identified as true from a reading of the line in the source, he creates video tutorials for English language and literature and uploads them onto YouTube. But the correct statements are not always as easy as that to find. Look at statement H. Liam Murphy makes a joke to excuse his poor exam result. Now, there is nowhere in the text that explicitly says Liam Murphy makes a joke to excuse his poor exam results. What you have to do is read the line, I won't tell you my exam results, but if I'd gone to an all-boys school, I might have been a brain surgeon, and actually infer from that A, this is a joke, and B, the joke is excusing his poor exam results. Now, that is true, but the point I'm making is that you have to read between the lines to work it out. And there are other challenges too. In the November 2018 resit paper, many students chose an incorrect statement which was worded very similarly to a statement from the text. So the original text said something like, speak to most students who revise online and you'll discover that YouTube is their #1 website of choice for learning. And one of the statements in the question was, most students revise online. And you can see that the wording of the statement is very similar to what it says in the text, but that's not actually what the source is saying. The statement is incorrect. The source doesn't say that most students revise online. It makes a statement about what most students who revise online actually do when they are there. And what happened in the November 2018 exam, and what you need to make sure you avoid yourself, is many students selected that statement as correct and then just looked for 3 more correct statements. But the truth was that the statement was not correct, and there were therefore 4 more correct statements to find. Now, the exam board isn't trying to catch you out. A careful and close reading of the text is what Assessment Objective 1 is all about, but this is a good reminder to read the text very carefully, and you have time to do so. The entire exam paper, just like with Paper 1, is worth a total of 80 marks, and the exam is a 1 hour 45-minute exam. Now, if you allow 15 minutes for reading the sources, you're left with 90 minutes to achieve a possible maximum of 80 marks, which means you should spend around 1 minute per mark available on each question. So with question 1, you should spend around 5 minutes on it, and that's more than enough time to read the 8 statements, reread the section of the text in question, and carefully choose your answers. Once you've found a correct statement, you need to shade the circle in the box next to it. And here's a very useful final tip. The statements are always presented in the same chronological order as the text, so it should be easy to check in a methodical and consistent way that you've identified the correct answers.
I hope you found this video useful. If you'd like to see a longer video on this question, then you can see one just here, click on the screen and you'll be taken to that video. Please do subscribe to the channel.